And hello there, fellow humans. Yeah, so I've just noticed a little light cloud watch. I don't think you've seen that centre one. Let's zoom in. I hate using the zoom because it looks fucking tight. You see that one's nice, and that one is a dip in the middle. It is about to lapse, I think. Give it another couple of years. Well, we should have been safe sand on the end anyway. I trust local workmanship, funny enough. But yeah, so that's what I've been busy with for ages. People say, "What have you got lined up next?" Well, I've got some talks about some stuff, you know what I mean. But I'll never discuss what I'm doing in advance anyway. But to be honest, I want to take a bit of a break from the environment stuff because I don't do a lot of it. I don't mind it. I quite enjoy it. You know, and I've had a really, it's the most fun I've had in fucking years doing this cathedral. But also, you know, when you have done that many, because there's millions, there's loads of different bloody parts in it, you know what I mean? And there's only so much stonework you can actually texture and sculpt and create before you get bored with it. So I want to do some creature stuff or some humans or whatever, just for a few days a week or whatever, just to get myself, you know, the sort of environments and cathedrals out of my head. And the trouble is with this cathedral, if we had endless render resources, this would have been a whole lot more complex. But it's got to be rendered out, and funny enough, ILM will not lend FXPHD, they'll render for me, you know. So at the moment, the version you see is normal maps. It's like one big smegging game model, but with a lot of polygons. That's what it's like. But I've enjoyed it. And of course with all these bits I can remake a million other things from it now and kit bash shit. Who knows, maybe I'll start doing robots. Just like doing robots, maybe I'll start doing something, I don't know. Don't know what the fuck I'm going to do next actually. I've got ideas, but this shit, you know, it's like I said before, money's not my god. It never will be. As long as I have enough to eat and pay the bills and look after the wife and kids, I'm happy. Now, I had a conversation when I get my breath back. I'll tell you a little story. I have no idea what's up here. I'll have a look. I've given out time. Right, I've got now to get back home. So unfortunately I'm going to have to turn around because wife's going to pick the kids up, you know, and I want to be in the house because there's a delivery due some point over the next week and a half. But yeah, so it's like I had a conversation. There it is again, with a cousin of mine that I bumped into, you know, in town and constantly how to sit down. I'm gonna buy in right there. But yeah, there you go. It's still full, it's off now. But and it went something like this. Until fairly recently, my family, extended family, didn't know what I did for a living, right? I've kept it very low key. She didn't see the reason making a big deal out of it. Now, of course, eventually, somebody does a Google search, and word gets around the family, and they do a bit of research, and yeah, they're all very impressed and have a million questions, and Wayne goes virtually to hiding for a while. Couldn't really be awesome at all, to be honest. But one of the cousins said to me, you know, you're wasting your life. Now, here we go, another one about how it isn't a real job. But no, it wasn't that. He said to me, you're wasting your life. He said, you could be anywhere in the world doing what you do for a living and making a fortune. Oh, so he thinks. So, why are you still at concert? Why aren't you working for the big film firms? And I said, because I'm not really interested in the money. You know, let's face it, the majority of firms you work at, a lot of this stuff nowadays is commercials and stuff, and I'm not really interested in that, you know. If I'm going to spend more hours in this healthy, working for what really is far too little money, I would like it to be something I enjoy. And unfortunately, the things I enjoy aren't things you like. A lot of you anyway. Unlike the rest of the CG world, I don't have a fixation about games. I went through my games phase years ago, 10 years ago, right? I went in it out the other side. That was about as hardcore as you could get on the gaming front. you know, literally all day and all night. I'm clicking with something, I'll give you an idea, right? Comics, well, they're alright, but I wouldn't go mad over them, you know. Sometimes I like reading stuff. If I do, I'll read an entire series in a night, like the Watchmen comics, right? And I've read them all in a night, right? Well, so it was a draft, technically, but it's a fucking comic, right? And the things I'm interested in are somewhat different to the people. I often have different musical tastes, I have different tastes in art. You know, to me, as I've said before, when I was growing up and I had nothing, literally nothing, you know, at times we could, you know, a pair of shoes that I'd do 2 years because you couldn't afford any more. It was album covers. I'd go to a record shop and that was like a fucking art gallery to me. And I've always said that that's the art gallery of the poor. Right there. That was the art gallery of the 80s and 90s and 70s, whatever. Stuff that people are putting out this modern art. Damien Hirst, con man. Right? All these buggers that are sawing sheep in half or putting, you know, half-made beds, con. Right? Until you can prove to me you can do proper art and the rest of the world, prove to everybody, then don't go saw the fucking sheep in half, right? That's not art. That's vandalism. You know, then you've got people on the other side of the coin, like Banksy, who I do actually respect as an artist. Or should I say Robert Gunningham, to give him his proper name. Now, I like his style, I like the message he puts behind things. I like his irreverent way of looking at life. Now, he's not a working class dude, he's a middle class guy, you know what I mean? He's not as if he came from nothing, but he's able to fake it very good, right? I'm not about the art, I'm not about the attitude, so more power to him. I like stuff like that. Only when I'm looking at things, I like a lot of surrealist stuff as well. You know, the Dali stuff, I could look at Dali all day. I'm also a big fan of old British Ealing comedies, you know, and old British sci-fi. I like Doctor Who, because it's got this tackiness to it, right? It's like, if you're a guitar player, you'll be aware that in the 80s there was two styles of guitar. There was the American transatlantic style and the British style. British players, whether it's Brian May from Queen, etc., would be more melodic and less less notes, right? And the Americans would be able to shred better than anybody else, or the vast majority, right? You've always got people like Ingrid Malmsteen. But I like to think it's a bit similar in art. You know, I'm not as interested in a lot of the things. It's like I look at forums like CG Talk at the moment, and a lot of the news stuff, it's all this game's job, that game's job, this film's job. You know, I couldn't use flying fuck. That's why I don't go there as often as I used to. Hardly at all. You know, I probably maybe once a week just to see if there's anything major news I've missed on the 3D world, but most it's just all about games or this, or I don't like the Star Wars Blu-ray DVDs. I don't have a Blu-ray DVD player. It's not DVD players. I don't have a Blu-ray player, right? I correct myself. So I couldn't give it a shit until I do. I've always been cool with changes to Star Wars. You know, his playground, he wants to go and shit in it, it's his business. And personally, I never had a problem with the prequels. I took them for what they were. You know, I'm not overly fussy with it, so I don't see that as being a big problem. Now, yeah, the whole Darth Vader no thing, that's pretty fucking shite, right? I'll admit that one, but I'll overlook it, right? Same with the infamous Cantina bloody song. There's things that I'll overlook because the rest of the movies are good, right? Unfortunately, now we're in a day and age where if you have 20 or 30 guys who are very vocal, they can change public opinion. I'll tell you how. I'll give you the Wayne's guide to how to take over something, right? Or how to influence public opinion. Rule 1. Most people are sheep. And by that, I do not mean they are woolly and take up the arse of Australians and Welshmen. I'm joking there, right? But I'm going to quote a chic shagging joke, but otherwise it's like, it's against the Wayne code, right? But anyway, I mean that people do as they are told. When you might moan about it, but people do as they're told and follow the masses. Now, how do they give people the impression that the masses believe something? You have a small number of very vocal people. This has been done time and time and time again. This is why, let's say Rupert Murdoch suddenly decides that the Sun is going to support the Welsh Nationalist Party, right? Suddenly he'll flood all his papers with it and give the impression that suddenly they became very popular when they haven't. It's not to report on the popularity, it's to create it. It's the same with a lot of other things. And if you look around anywhere, if you take it down to its basis level, if you look at the sites and the media, and you see how people's opinions are shaped by a handful of reviews and a handful of people shouting away in comment sections about how terrible and how George Lucas ripped my childhood or whatever the fucking hell they're whinging about this week. If it's not Star Wars, it's something else. These people are basically professional advocates or anti-advocate, right? You can do the same thing in 3D. You want to make an app fantastic? Have about 20 or 30 people all over the forums, all over YouTube, all over everywhere, telling everybody how fantastic it is, showing it at its best. That's how you build an app. Simple, right? People will follow the horde. And if you have people who are names and are known, and you have enough of them, then you can create a hype that, at the very least, will get you sales. Now, once you've got your sales, it's up to you to try and make it as good as you can, or you can just say, fuck it, I've got the money, I want to run now. And that's what happens some of the time. We've seen it in the past. So, excuse me if I don't jump on this bandwagon. Excuse me if I'm not over the moon because somebody tells me I should be. I have my own mind. I'm one of those horrible little people in the world that doesn't follow the horde. I don't want to, right? It's of no fucking interest to me. I've always been different, I've always been unique, and I've always been the strange kid, right? That, like, people were always like this. I used to dislike that, right? I won't like it. But now, I actually revel in it, the fact that I am different. That I'm not like the rest of the people I know or have grown up with. Am I unique? No, not in that way. But I think it shows that I've got a brain. There's something in here, alright? And I don't want to be pushed around, whether it's by the media or companies telling me I should like something, I should buy something. I'm not going to have it. I won't do it. And it's the reason why sometimes companies can get a bit pissed off when you don't do as they say, or you suddenly say, well, actually, this is a load of bullshit. Let's see if I can prop this up here without it falling down. A big hole down there. But yeah, so it's an interesting rambling, but shows you what I mean. It's I believe that knowledge is power, and the easiest way to give people that power is from them. And what you do with the information is up to you. You can say, hey, we're just talking shit. I might be joking about the helicopter, right? But I'm actually saying it's a nice guy. The next guy's Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm joking. But yeah, I'm saying the next guy. And now we're trying like this in the wind. Still wind. Right, let's see how long this thing's been on for. Because I'm going to fucking clue. I know I'm rattling on today. 13 minutes. Let's pause this and do the next bit because that's just caught my chest.